Hello brothers, my name is the DwarfBass, and today I am going to be talking to you all about the balance changes that dropped on August 4th, 2020. Now these changes dropped along with Season 14, and let's go ahead and get started. I will give credit where credit is due. Supercell did put out some release notes, so I'll make sure to link them down in the description below so you guys can go read those release notes if you want to. And I also took notes off of OJ's video that he did on the balance changes, so I'll make sure to link his channel down in the description below so you all can go check that out if you want to. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to be talking about the bowler, the miner, roll recruits, bats, the log, roll delivery, and all kinds of spells. So it's a big balance change, but let's go ahead and get into it. So the bowler, it's going to have a rework. Its sight range is being reduced by 20%, projectile range increasing by 25%, health is increasing by 8%, health increasing from 1596 to 1729. He will be able to take one more hit from Executioner, Electro Wizard, Lumberjack, Prince, Wizard, Musketeer, Bomber, Giant, Skeleton, Cannon Cart, and Princess. Ranged units will require the bowler to walk closer to them after getting bowled due to his sight range being decreased. So this will end the Electro Wizard's reign of terror on the bowler, as he will no longer be able to evade the bowler's attacks due to stun locking and range advantage. It is easier to activate the King Tower with the Fisherman luring in the bowler due to the bowler's projectile range increase. Its placement of defending units against the bowler will be more crucial than ever due to the bowler being able to hit the Princess Tower from the bridge, similar to the Magic Archer. It is still alright to place the princess on the bridge because the bowler will not be able to reach the Princess Tower from across the river. He will finally be able to reach the firecracker and take her out. Finally. Let me just say. Finally. But, anyways, so I will read the why here on the release notes. The idea behind this rework is to make the bowler a bit more viable in offense, while keeping his defensive potential strong enough. Now he can reach the opponent's Princess Tower right after crossing the bridge, but he has to be a bit closer to enemies to score a strike. So now let's move on to the big change with spells. So this is going to affect all spells with exception of Earthquake and Tornado. So the Crown Tower damage is being decreased by 5%. Spells will now deal 30% of their total damage to Crown Towers instead of 35%. Make sure to refresh your memorization of spell Crown Tower damage because those numbers have changed. So spells have been the most popular and effective cards in the game since time immemorial. While we think it's cool for spells to have a really healthy use rate, they provide a bit too much value if used to destroy a troop next to the opponent's tower. This, coupled with the creation of sometimes stale and frustrating spell cycle strategies, sees them get a slight reduction to Crown Tower damage this season. So let's move on to the Miner. So the Miner's Crown Tower damage is being decreased by 5%. His damage to Crown Towers is being reduced from 56 to 48. Miner chip decks are slightly nerfed, especially Miner Poison. So the Miner is often used for his Crown Tower damage, which was recently reduced to be in line with spells. Keeping with this thinking, Miner has also been affected by this change. It kind of makes sense, if they reduce the spells, and they want the Miner to match that, then that just makes sense for them to do that. So the roll recruits, their damage is increasing by 8%, damage increasing from 101 to 110. DPS of each roll recruit is going up from 77 to 84. Taking out tanks will be easier and faster, and they will now be able to one-shot spear goblins. Shouldn't have they already been able to do that? But hey, we're not complaining. They're able to do that now, so good for them. They got a little stronger. That's cool. So anyways, let's move on. The bats, their hit speed is being decreased by 9%. Their hit speed is increasing from 1.1 seconds to 1.3 seconds. The DPS decreasing from 60 to 51. Taking out tanks will be slower for them, and they are no longer minion horde level worth of damage. Cheap, fast, high DPS. Bats have been one of the most used cards for a long time, and maybe it's because they give just a little bit too much value for 2 elixir. And note that this change also affects the bats that are spawned by the Night Witch, so, just to make sure that, hey, it affects the Night Witch too. So, she's getting a slight nerf as well. The log, let's talk about the log. So not only is the log's Crown Tower damage being reduced, but its range is also decreasing by 9%. So it is losing 1 tile of reach. It will no longer be able to take out a center placed Goblin Barrel and a bridge placed Princess. When Princess is placed 1 tile in front of the King Tower with no Princess Towers down, the log will no longer be able to reach her. So that's going to really benefit log bait players there with that. So like bats, the log has been a strong leader in challenge use rate, putting it far ahead of any other card. Even though we don't want to touch one of the 2 legendary spells in the game too much, we thought it would make sense to up its skill cap slightly. Now, in order to hit the opponent's tower, the log should be deployed on the very top row of tiles, which is pretty much right there at the bridge. As close to the bridge as you can get it if you want to hit the tower. That's what you're going to have to do now. So let's move on to the last card, which is the Royal Delivery. Its knockback is completely removed. The Royal Recruit damage is increasing by 8%. They're going to match it with the Royal Recruits. The Royal Delivery will not be able to stop charging units like the Ram Rider from getting their charge damage on the tower, which will most likely bring back Fireball, Zap, Giant Snowball, and the log back into the main spells again. The Royal Delivery will stop the Battle Ram from connecting to the tower, but the Barbarians will be closer to the tower, and 1 Barbarian will still chip the tower. Infernal Dragon will no longer be interrupted by the Royal Delivery, and it will not retarget onto another unit. Fireballies will be fully stopped by the Royal Delivery, with the Royal Recruit not taking damage from them. It is no longer viable to fully stop a Hog Rider with Royal Delivery and Skeletons. Royal Delivery has been a jack of all trades. It hits both ground and air, deals significant area damage, spawns a defensive troop, and retargets many troops with its knockback ability. Since the Royal Recruit inside is getting a damage buff, we think it's the right time to make Royal Delivery less of an answer to every kind of push. So yeah, so that's all the changes there, but of course, I will state my opinion for all of these. Let's think about the bowler. Alright, do I agree with the bowler's changes? Yes. 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 I don't know. But yes, I do agree with the bowler's changes. I mean, he is a great card. He's always been a solid defense card, and he's always been able to knock back units. It's awesome. That constant knockback's beautiful. And now with this, with his sight range being decreased, but his projectile range increasing, you know, he's going to be a bit more viable on an offensive push. He won't necessarily be doing more damage, but he will be excuse me, he will be closer to the tower, and so he'll be able to get more shots in, and he will also be, he'll be closer to ranged units is what I should say, but he is able to hit the Princess Tower from the bridge now, which is kind of insane. So yeah, so do I agree with the bowler's changes? Yes, I do. Now the spell, Crown Tower damage reduction, all of that, do I agree with that change? Sure, why not? I mean, it's not really a big deal for me, but, you know, Rocket Cycle is pretty cool. It's rough. Minor Poison can be very rough as well, which we'll talk about that one later, but, you know, all the spells really shouldn't be the way to win a game. I mean, they are valuable, you know, don't get me wrong, they're valuable, but hey, they shouldn't be able to just win games by themselves. So do I agree with this change? Yes, I do. The minor, do I agree with it? Yes, I do. I mean, now, my opinion probably would have been no initially, but, you know, they did match him with Crown Tower damage with spells. You know, they made his Crown Tower damage reduced by 35% of his total damage. You know, they matched that back a few seasons ago. I'm not sure when it was, but, you know, to keep him matched with spells, it just makes sense, you know, for simplicity's sake. So that's okay with me. So the minor, do I agree with it? Yes, I do. The Royal Recruits, do I agree with it? Yes. Keep those boys a-going because, man, I love the Royal Recruits. They're such a fun card. You know, they just spread across the map. They're able to defend multiple troops at once. They're such a beautiful card. Man, I love the Royal Recruits. And, you know, there's a lot of people that shit on them, but hey, I love the Royal Recruits. They're such a good card if you use them right. And with this damage increase, they're just going to be stronger. And it's great. They can one-shot Spear Goblins. Finally. Thank God. But yeah, but anyways, all joking aside, that's pretty awesome that they're able to have that damage increase. So they're going to be a little stronger. Maybe we'll see them in the meta more often. But hey, do I agree with the changes? Yes, I do. Let's talk about bats now. Bats, do I agree with it? Yes, of course I agree with the bats. The bats, I mean, it was great at a time to have a 2 elixir card that pretty much did the job of a 5 elixir card. But what's the point in having a 5 elixir card if there's a 2 elixir card that can do the same thing? Right? Yeah, so that's what Supercell was saying there. And I'm glad that they reduced their hit speed rather than their damage. So their damage is still going to be the same, but their hit speed being reduced makes them not so powerful and pretty much replace Minion Horde in certain situations. I'm going to donate real quick. There we go. And let's get into this final replay here. But bats, do I agree with their change? Yes, I do. The log. Do I agree with its change? I mean, actually, I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no on this one. I mean, I get it. The skill cap for it, it makes sense. But come on, man. Like, you can't do that to the log. You can't just reduce its... How? I just hit my knuckle on the counter here. But you can't just do that, man. You can't do it. It's rough. It's sad. But why you gotta do that to the poor little log? I don't know what I'm doing, but you know, it just makes me sad. It really do make me sad. Okay, I'll shut up. But yeah, so I don't really agree with it. I mean, I get it for the legendary status of the card, but come on, you know, I don't think it really needed a range reduction. But hey, I've got an unpopular opinion. It's cool, it's whatever. But do I agree with the log? No, I do not agree with its change. The royal delivery, do I agree with its change? Hell no. Now, do I agree with the royal recruits damage? Yeah, sure. I mean, that's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that the royal delivery is also going to follow suit. I mean, of course, you know, it is spawning a royal recruit. But come on, man. Why you got to get rid of its knockback? That was one of the most awesome things about this card, is that it did so much value for 3 elixir. I think what they should have done is they should have increased its cost. I think that would have been an alright change. If they would have increased it to 4 elixir, potentially 5 elixir, I think it would have been much better than not getting rid of its knockback. I mean, knockback is ridiculous. It is a ridiculous mechanic all around anyways, but hey, you know, I get why Supercell was saying, hey, you know, we need to get all spells equal love, equal value, and make them more, and make each spell unique. I mean, I get that, but you shouldn't have got rid of the knockback on the royal delivery. I think what we should have done was increased its cost to 4, potentially 5 elixir, and that would have been a much better payoff than just completely getting rid of its knockback. I think royal delivery is just going to go out of the meta, and you're not going to see it, and it's just going to become a dead card. I don't think people are going to use it. And so yeah, do I agree with this card? No, I strongly disagree with the changes to this card. Now, that's it for all the balance changes. I will officially shut up. Just kidding, I won't officially shut up, but hey, you know, love, I don't know what I'm saying anymore. But, oh, I thought we were fixing to end the video. No, we still got overtime. Okay, so I guess I can commentate a little bit. But, yeah, so this deck, you know, it's got a pretty good win rate for myself personally. You know, I was using this deck and I was like, man, this deck is amazing. Some instances, it was great. In some instances, I pretty much just screwed up and wasn't paying attention, and I was like, oh god, like just right there I missed one of the goblins, and that was crucial. I shouldn't have done that. But you know, we're just me and my opponent both, we're just chipping at each other's towers. we gotta keep chipping, because if we don't chip, then we don't have a stake, you know, switching lanes, because neither one of us have enough damage to just switch a lane. So we gotta fight in the same lane. So that's what this whole match right here has been about. And I'm not sure. All right, yeah, I've got Fireball. I have to keep using Fireball as well to stop that. But right here, I get the tower down to 80. He throws an Electro Wizard there to reset it. Here comes this push out of nowhere. I kind of got scared, and all of this is coming down at once. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta stop it. I couldn't stop it. I threw the game away at the very last minute. That's pretty much what I did. Like, every loss I had with this deck was because of my stupidity. But this deck is really solid. If you guys want to try it out for yourselves, be my guest. Be more than welcome to do that. And let's go ahead. If you want to join Fisticuffs, come on by. You know, regular activity required. Inactivity of 10 or more days and or no donations will get you kicked. But hey, you know, we are pretty fun clan. This is great. You know, everybody here has always been nice to me. They've always been awesome with donations and sharing replays and just chatting. So if that sounds fun to you, then definitely come on by Fisticuffs. Now we'll go ahead and end this video to end your all's misery. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this, and if you want to, slap that like button. Comment down below. Tell me how your day was, because I would love to read how your day was and to read the comments. And go subscribe to PewDiePie. PewDiePie, he is just, he's daddy material. He is absolutely amazing. Okay, I need to stop. But anyways, I am the DwarfBass, and I will see you brothers next time. Bye-bye.